Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Sechuayo, a.k.a. Coach Bird, and I'm the host of the BYRDCAGE show. Cousin Tracy.
What's up?
We are back at it, episode 132, you know what I'm saying? Let's get into it, you know what I'm saying? Episode 132, we have a very, very special guest on the cage, in the cage, on the couch today, you know what I'm saying? We've been trying to make this happen for a minute. This guy is busy. I believe he just came back from the Final Four, you know what I'm saying? So, you know.
Damn, I ain't get an invite. Shit.
So, you know, we got to catch him when we can catch him, you know what I'm saying? I know a lot of you guys out there, especially in this area, well, in all areas and shit, because he gets around, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know who's sitting on the couch, but some of you don't. And even the ones that do know, you're going to learn some more things about him. 1,000-point scorer in high school and college. You hear that? 1,000 points in high school and college. D1, pro player, coach, mentor, founder of Difference Makers. This guy does a lot, man. You know what I'm saying? For those that don't know, our friend JULIAN DUNKLEY is on the couch in the cage. Welcome.
Appreciate you having me today, for real.
Definitely.
Thank you for coming.
Yes.
And look, I can call you my friend now.
We definitely friends.
That's what's up. So let's get right into this thing. You know what I'm saying? Let's for the folk that don't know your background, let's just give a brief rundown. Where you from, high school, we're getting to college and all that good stuff.
All right, well, I was born in Jamaica. Came here when I was very young, went to school in South Jersey, went to Carusi Middle School, went to Cherry Hill West. Kind of fell in love with basketball at a young age. It's kind of when I came over, I didn't play any basketball in Jamaica. Never picked up a basketball in Jamaica. And when I came here, my favorite sport was actually ping pong and soccer.
Okay.
That was my two sports. And then I met a coach when I came here. A couple coaches, but one of the most influential ones, it was two that was very influential when I was younger. One's name is Rick Barrett from Voorhees. He had a program called the Gym Rats, and a couple of my classmates was going to a free camp on the weekend, and just invited me to come.
Right.
I was a lanky kid that just kind of liked playing whatever sport, but I didn't lock in on anything yet. And I went to the camp, and that camp kind of just sparked my interest and made me look at the sport in a different way. And it was just fun, and you know, I just gravitated towards it. It was really crazy. It was really organic and really crazy. And then I never missed anything basketball related from that point on.
Now, what grade was that?
This was in 7th grade.
7th? Okay. How tall were you in 7th grade?
Man, you know what? I was probably like 5'11" in 7th, and I shot up to like 6'3" in 8th, and I went from 6'3" to like 6'6" in 9th, and then 6'8", and then topped out about 6'9".
Coach probably saw him like, who's that tall lanky kid playing ping pong? Like, what are you doing over there?
It was nuts.
What are you doing over there?
He probably had legs for days.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing over there?
I was like 6 foot, probably like 100 pounds. But you know what? I knew I was trash, but Rick seen something in me that he could develop, and that's the same thing I try to institute with my eye with these kids now. You know, we don't want finished products. We want to develop kids. Right. We don't want to come and take something that's already done or already baked. We want to do the baking ourselves, you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And we've been doing that for a while. But he saw something in me, and it motivated me. It kind of made me enthusiastic about the game, that this man saw that I had potential to be good at something, and it motivated me to want to be great, and I never looked back from there. High school came along, and, you know, I just kept killing. I just took it real serious.
Now, who was the coach at Cherry Hill West?
He was a guy named Don Murray.
Okay.
Interesting story. When I was in the 9th grade, I didn't play. I might have had 4 varsity points my freshman year. I didn't play at all. I was 6'7", averaged like 32 points a game on JV, and I didn't play a lick of varsity.
Wow.
I had one of my good friends, his name's Anthony DeMichael. He started every game as a freshman, and he averaged double figures. He was like 6'3", 6'4". He's a really good player.
Okay.
But he was like my motivation. I was like, my boy is getting an opportunity. If he can do it, you know, it motivated me to do it. And, you know, I just kept working. And then sophomore year, I just made a 360 from 9th to 10th grade. But the coach, Don Murray, I've never like played inside.
Okay.
I've always done everything on the basketball court. I always shot the ball, handled the ball, post up. I always wanted to be like a jack of all trades on the court, but I wanted to master most.
Right.
That's how I used to say it. And Coach Murray was like, listen, you always shooting these threes. You know, I'll let you shoot them in the game, but you got to make 9 out of 10 in this drill right here. And if you make 9 out of 10, I'll let you shoot them, you know, in the game off the flex offense. I forgot what we was running at that time where I actually had the ball on the perimeter within what we were doing.
Okay.
And I did it. And then there was never no looking back from then. I started shooting, handling, and, you know, that was the biggest transition towards me being able to showcase my abilities to the world other than with AAU, with Rick and stuff like that. So it went hand in hand.
Dang, if my coach would have asked me to shoot 9 out of 10 threes, I'd have still been mid-range. Bird, get back in that midi, baby.
Sitting on the pine.
That's what's up. Now, what year did you come out of Jerry with?
96.
96.
Yeah, that was a big year. Kobe, Tim Thomas, Malik Allen, Nate Johnson in Camden, Jules Washington. It was a good time for basketball back then. Matt Langle.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
Dang. Now, we're in school. You're balling. You love it and all that. So I'm sure college is on the radar, you know what I'm saying, taking us to the next level. But academically, what did you have to do to make sure that you was, you know, ready for these college opportunities when they come knocking?
Well, like I said, I'm Jamaican. I got a Jamaican household, and you know, my dad still is in Jamaica to this day. But my mom, she raised me, and we couldn't really do bad in school because if you did bad in school, there was repercussions.
I feel you.
Different repercussions than today. So, you know, we had that fear in our household of, you know, wanting to do our best in school. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
She knew when we was doing our best. So getting good grades was always a big thing. And I even remember taking the SATs and people thinking it was a big deal because I got like over 11 or 1,200 on SATs. And like the first time I took it, and I was like, it was normal because I was like, I had no Princeton review.
Yeah, right.
I had no nothing to prepare me for it. I just took it. And you know, we just had a standard in our household for academics that we had to uphold, or else, you know, you couldn't be in the house.
Gotcha.
So, you know, my mom is a big contributor to that. So I never stressed about academics, and that transition to college didn't hurt me at all.
Right, that's what's up. You remember what you got on your SATs?
No, but I only took it once.
I took that.
And I ended up at Iowa State. So
You did good.
I took that thing 5 times, and my combined highest scores, you know how they combine them, 950.
No, you was good though. You got in. A lot of people wish they had 950. A lot of homies wish they had a 950.
yeah.
950.
And look, today you don't even need none of that. That's
I know, it's crazy, right? It's crazy. That's real crazy. That's what's up. So what was that recruitment like? Because, I mean, I know you're doing your thing, you know what I'm saying? You passed the eye test, you know what I'm saying? You're getting buckets and doing what you got to do. What was that recruitment process like?
It was overwhelming, but like I said, I got to thank Rick Barrett for guiding me in the process, and I had another coach in high school named Dal Grady that was from New York. They used to help me out a lot, and going to Adidas ABCD camp was the big turning point for me. When you get a chance to play against the best players in the country, it's cool when you rocking out around here, or maybe sliding up to New York to play in IS8 and play against guys from New York or Delaware. But to go to a camp, and conveniently for me, it was at Fairleigh Dickinson in Teaneck. So I'm at Teaneck and I see California, Arizona, dudes is in the back at the dorms where we had to stay at arguing that E40 is better than Biggie.
Right. Like, who's E40, right?
I don't know what's going on. So it was people from all walks of life, all parts of the country. And the most interesting thing was to kind of take little pieces of everybody's game and just be exposed to different styles of play and be able to take that stuff out of their toolbox and bring it home, add it in mine, and bring it back to Jersey.
Gotcha.
So
that's what's up.
I think that was one of the, back in the day, one of the big things with the overnight camps was being able to intermingle with people from all over the country.
Absolutely.
Like back in the day, those camps, when you got the invites to them camps, you got to meet people literally from kids from all over, and you kind of bond because you're there for a week.
And some of these people are still my friends to this day. And,
that's what's up.
You know, it's helped me with what I do today with Difference Makers, because a lot of them guys are Division I, Division II, Division III coaches, and we have that bond, you could say, of, you know, knowing each other from teenagers.
Right, true.
So your word is more important than a scouting report or a scouting service or something like that. If I call my homie up and say, hey, this kid can really play, they're going to believe me because they know I'm not going to want to sell them a dream.
Right. Facts. Now, doing some research, you know what I'm saying? What's the story with you and Kobe? You know what I'm saying? Because I think I saw y'all on a fly or something together. It was like your picture, his picture. I forgot what was the title. I even saw some footage on YouTube.
Julian DUNKLEY on the foul.
Yeah, we played in a Adidas All-American game, Gym Rat All-American game. Back when I was going into my junior year in high school, and I didn't know Kobe would be Kobe that he ended up being, but I knew he was great, and I knew he had a tremendous work ethic. Quick story. I got invited to a camp for like the top 60 kids in the country when I was in high school, and the only guys from the area were me, Kobe, Nate Johnson, and Rip Hamilton. Everybody else was from all over the country, and we kind of stuck together because we was from the same area. So we'd eat lunch together, we'd talk, we'd intermingle throughout the day, but every day at lunch, me, Rip, Nate would be eating lunch and no Kobe. We were there for a week, like Tracy said. The camps were like five days long, whatever. First day, no Kobe. Second day, we looking around, no Kobe at lunch. Third day, I'm like, yo, where's this dude at? So I said, I'll be back. I look, this dude has an apple, grapes, and an orange in the gym working out on the hour lunch break. On the break. I'm talking about the whole camp. So, what did we do? Yeah. We stopped eating lunch too. And we started working out too. We got our apple, our grape, and went and got extra work in too. But that's just, when people tell them stories, like, I've seen it with my own eyes. True. It ain't cap, it ain't something made up. Like, he really was destined and determined to be the best, man. And he didn't cut no corners. He actually made life more difficult so he can achieve his goal. He set the standard higher for his work ethic than anybody else I've ever seen. But
that's why he's one of the greats.
Speaking about cutting corners, do you think this generation work ethic is a little off?
I mean, I think we lived in a kind of a spoiled generation, even though, it's my business and it helps pay my bills. I believe that, like, we did a lot of stuff on our own. And I even preach when I talk and I train kids, and I try to help them no matter what I'm doing. I try to give them tools that they can use on their own. I don't need you coming to the gym with me 7 days a week to get better. I'm going to tell you something on Monday and Tuesday that you can use on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I'll see you back again on Monday and Tuesday. But I think, there's a lot of entitlement and a lot of not understanding that, like, you can put the work in on your own too. You can get a mixture. And I think the creativity in today's game is lacking because we played outside. We went to the parks. My mom would drop me off, like, I'd be at Northgate with Kevin Walls when he was running that park from 10 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock at night. And some of those guys that I was playing against when I was 14, 15, 16 years old was better than everybody that played at the high school. And they got me better. You know what I mean? I would be down 4th Street. I would go to Larchmont in Mount Laurel. I would go anywhere it was where I heard older guys or better guys were playing and I could get some bump. But today it's like, if you don't set it up, and that's a part of our workouts too, we keep competitive game structure as a part of the workout because cones don't play defense. We don't, you'll never see in my workout a dude jumping up, grabbing a balloon and laying the ball up, or grabbing a tennis ball, flipping it behind his back, and then catching 2 basketballs. Like, we don't do gimmicks. Like, I want to do things that, and no offense to people that do that. I ain't stopping nobody checks. But I ended up being a decent basketball player, and I want everybody to be better than me. And if you end up being better than me, we're gonna be all right. So I just think that, translatable reps is the biggest thing in a basketball game. You're a high school coach. How many double step back reverse snatches you gonna see in a game? You're not gonna see too many, but you're gonna see a pump fake rip, get to a spot pull up. You're gonna get an extra pass 3. You're gonna get a, just regular basketball plays. So
Very true.
I just really try to we start with that fundamentally, and then we get to the other stuff, and we get to add different things to our bag so everybody doesn't look the same and we're not robots. But I do think playing on your own is a big part of it. And I tell every one of my clients this too. Go get a membership to LA Fitness, and when the guys go play at 5 o'clock, let your mom drop you off or dad drop you off, and go play with the older guys every day. Yeah. That was a big thing for me towards getting better. Right. Going to gyms, Cherry Hill Rag Club, LA Fitness, you know, Randall Cunningham Gym. I was anywhere the smoke was at. Right. And these kids got to be the same way. Yeah. If you want to make it, it's not going to just be handed to you.
True. So, where'd you go out of Cherry Hill West, college-wise?
After West, I was blessed. I got offers from like every school in the country offered me a scholarship except for Duke in North Carolina. But I was a big fan of like Eddie Jones and Aaron McKee. Okay. So, you know, and Coach Chaney was like, he was amazing at talking like with my mom. Once my mom met him, she looked at him like, all right, your dad's in Jamaica. He gonna be your dad now. Like, I trust this man. Like, you know what? He's talking. He's talking about values. It wasn't really about basketball when he came into our house and spoke to us. Like, he was talking about preparing me to be, you know, a man. So, you know, I really liked that. And coming off the Eddie Jones and Aaron McKee era, I thought it was a great opportunity to go there and advance my game. And Temple was a great experience for me. I spent 2 years there. And then my going into my junior year, I don't know if you remember I call him the Honorable Dr. John Giannini.
Oh yeah, was that Rowan? Yeah, definitely.
You know, so John, Coach Giannini, ended up getting a job at Maine. And I was just been a big fan of him growing up in Jersey. That was back in the day when they had Demetrius Poles and Antoine Dasher and all these Division I dudes transferring Division III and winning national championships. I used to go to camps at Roma with him, and I had a good relationship with him. So when he got a Division I job, I didn't care if it was Appalachian State, no diss to them, or Alaska University. It didn't matter. I wanted to get an opportunity to play for him because I felt like I really trusted him. And Temple was cool. I started 28 out of 32 games my sophomore year. So, you know, the reps were there, but I just felt like I could do something special up in Maine. And I've always been a fan of the underdog and trying to turn nothing into something. So, you know, the year before, I think, back then you had to sit out. So I think it was like the biggest turnaround in Division I to go from winning like, I don't know, I think they won like 7 games or something. And then my junior year, we ended up winning going like 25-6. And we ended up losing in the conference tournament to Speedy Claxton, who had a long NBA career, now he coach at Hofstra, and Norm Richardson, who was a first-round pick by the Pacers, and Jay Wright was the coach at Hofstra, who was a legend in Villanova. So it wasn't a bad team to lose to. And my point guard, Andy Bedard, who was a transfer from Boston College as well, first-team all-conference guy, really good player, broke his wrist right before the conference tournament. So it was just bad timing. And, you know, some things just wasn't meant to be. But had a great career at Maine, and, you know, got an opportunity to get invited to Portsmouth Invitational for the top players in the country for NBA camp, and had a good experience there, and tried out with the Sixers, the Atlanta Hawks. And then, you know, when you tell a dude that they never had no real money in his life, because back then we wasn't getting no NIL money. He was getting a Pell Grant.
Facts.
That after you went to City
take
Blue,
care. That's it. That's gold. Get that Aberex.
You know, that was it.
That's it.
I never seen no real money like that when I was there. So while I was in camp with the Sixers, the agent that I signed with at the time, Bill, great guy. We just talk to this day at least once a week. Really influential guy in my life. I signed with him because he was the only agent telling me to stay in school and get my degree first before we start working out for pre-draft camps and things like that. So my mom really liked that too. So she was like, "You're gonna sign with him. Everybody else wants you to leave school in January and come back and get your degree later. No, you're gonna stay and get it." So was blessed enough to get my degree, first person in my family to graduate. And so that was a big deal to myself and to my family. And then I went on, and Bill gave me an offer to go to Austria, Vienna, Austria. My first year, but it was like stay in vet camp or take the deal. I'm a big believer in bird in hand is better than two in the sky, so I took that, and it was a great experience, man, playing in Vienna. Got opportunity to play against my best friend to this day, Rashid Brokenborough, played at Temple with me. He ended up being in the same country on a different team.
Oh, wow.
So that made it even smoother transition. We'd hang out every off day, every weekend we had off. We was, he had to come to me because he was in where the cows was at in Wall Street. I was in the best city, so he'd drive up and kick it with me, and that made my first year playing pro such a smooth transition, and I think for both of us because it was both our first years. Right. And it was cool to kind of come full circle, me going to Maine and him staying at Temple, but we still ended up playing, pro ball in the same country. And then played in Belgium, Austria, Belgium, Turkey. I played for my national team of Jamaica, coached my national team for Jamaica. Oh, wow. Won a Caribbean championship as a coach, captained the team as a player, won there. So a lot of international experience and getting a chance to see the world. I remember just being in Turkey, just looking up at the sky like, yo, I'm from Jamaica and I grew up in Cherry Hill, and I'm in Turkey right now. This is crazy. I tell the kids all the time, like the basketball, this ball can take you, get you a free education, most importantly, and it can take you all around the world, and it can introduce you to 80% of your friends. Right. Because 80% of my friends right now play sports, play basketball, at some point. So it brings people together, and that's what I did after.
Now, how long was that professional span?
I ended up playing 3 years professional. I played in Belgium, Turkey, and Austria. And played for the national team, and I tore my Achilles. So I always say, like, that's when the degree really came in handy.
Got you.
What is your degree in?
It's in communications and public relations, but I ended up doing things. It was social work at first at Temple. Then when I transferred to Maine, I changed to communications and public relations. I wanted to do stuff in Jamaica. I wanted to do TV. Whatever. So it just worked out. But just having that bachelor's in general, you can't have a good job today without just a basic bachelor's. So that became the standard. So I thank God every day that, I did stay in school and get that, because staying and getting it for free is a lot better than going back and paying.
Yeah.
I know that's right.
I tell all the kids to use that and utilize the ball to do that.
Tracy say it all the time. You know what I'm saying? Use these tools, whatever sport it is. You know what I mean? Try to do the best you can.
Because at some point, the field's going to close, the lights are going to go out, the ball's going to stop, and you need to do what?
Gotta work,
you know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, so.
That's facts. Take advantage of that. You know what I'm saying? Take advantage of that. Now, you mentioned that you coached a little bit with your national team, right? When you got done with all of that, when did you start coaching again, or did you start the Difference Makers first?
Once I got injured, once I tore my Achilles and kind of said, you know what? I had some opportunities to go back and coach my alma mater, so I coached at Maine at Division I under Ted Woodward. It was a great experience, and then it catapulted me to get another opportunity to coach at Quinnipiac University in Connecticut for Joe DeSantis, and that was a great experience. And after that, that's when I started Difference Makers. I kind of said, I appreciated working for somebody, but coaching was and still to this day, even worse now, it wasn't a stable situation for me at the college level. So I wanted to kind of create something on my own that I could put my twist on and kind of take pieces of like what Rick was doing for me and Coach Grady was doing for me and all the other coaches that I grew up with that kind of helped me to get to where I was at, kind of take pieces of from all of them and kind of come up with my own program. And that's how I came up with Difference Makers. And we started off, down the bottom in West Philly, at the Mantua Rec Center, just doing a bunch of free clinics, helping guys out, helping get kids to college. And, we were just grinding. I'm talking about it. That's why people say, like, man, you love where you at now, but they don't understand, like, countless hours of, picking kids up and making sure they can get here and being on the phone with this community college and make sure they can get to school. It wasn't like NC State and Temple and Penn State and all this stuff from the beginning. Like, we had to really work hard and sacrifice, and there was a lot of kids that, laid it on the line with hard work. Guys like Shaquille Duncan going to Morgan State, Deshaun Menace, Jameer Henner out of South Philly, Deshaun Menace trusting the program to leave South Philly and go over to Jersey and go to Atlantic Christian and end up going to Texas Tech. Like, those guys kind of catapulted the program. So there is the Tyler Suttons, the Makai Robinsons, the bunch of slew of kids that we have today that have been successful, and the ones in college, like Quadir Copeland had a great NCAA run this year, taking McNeese State. People thought he was crazy.
Yeah.
when we put that play together for him to go there,
Right.
and he never questioned it at all.
Gotcha.
And he just went there and did what he did, and he's a borderline household name coming out of McNeese State. Now he's going to get a chance to play for Coach Wade at NC State back on the big stage that he was at Syracuse.
Nah, that's what's up. McNeese State, that's the guy with the radio.
Yep.
He's
more famous than anybody, right?
I know, that's what I was saying. I think he got NIL deal or something, you know what I'm saying? Now, for those that don't know, you know what I'm saying, and if you don't know, you must be living under a rock or something. But just explain to the folk real quick what the difference makers, you know, the organization is, what you do and all that real quick.
It's kind of like a one-stop shop in terms of like, you know, we start and we don't start too early. We've had a few exceptions over the years, but we normally start in like 7th grade. It starts off being fundamental player development in 7th and 8th grade, and we kind of help with the guidance with parents, with the recruitment process, helping kids, you know, kind of maximize their potential, because it's super hard to get scholarships these days, man. You can score 2,000 points in high school and be struggling to get on the phone for a coach to call you.
That's true.
So we try to do like person placement, like present the kids in a way where we can get their names out there and get them to be seen not just locally but nationally, send them to the right camps, because there's money grabs and then there's things that really matter that can help catapult a kid's career. So we try to avoid the money grabs with, you know, over the years of figuring out a lot of trial and error, what really works and what doesn't work. So we just try to guide the parents to that. The training is the core piece. The guidance is another piece. We call it GPS. Okay. And then we try to help facilitate situations where the parents and the kids can obtain scholarships to get to use that basketball to get an education. And then once they get to college, you know, we try to guide them with people that we know that are in different facets that can help them from, you know, if they do well enough in college, you know, my agent is still an agent. There's other agents that can help kids out. So we try to just present options where kids can be with people that, you know, are trustworthy, that we know can help them continue to further their careers.
Sure. That is one-stop shopping. Now let's start with
real quick question.
Oh,
wait.
go.
Different
Sorry.
makers, just for males, correct?
No, we've actually had a few females that have come through the program. We haven't had many, but we've had a few, and the ones that we had, I think, have done pretty well. So we don't discriminate.
Okay.
We take on all, and, you know, a lot of it is skill-based work that anybody can do, men, females, males. It doesn't really matter. So we do have a competitive playing piece at the end, and we try to split it up so there's groups for everybody. We can figure it out.
And you are where now currently?
We're based out of Camden, and we're also based out of Marlton area right now.
Nice. What's the youngest? Like
7th grade.
7th? Okay.
7th grade is the youngest where we start at. But like I said, we've had a few special exceptions over the years.
Right.
You know, there's a couple of really special kids out there right now that we try to open the doors for too.
Gotcha. Now let's start with the high school aspect. What's your thoughts on the state of high school basketball? You know,
in South Jersey,
North Jersey. You know what I'm saying? Because I know you deal with it all a little bit. But.
I think South Jersey has taken some steps forward and some steps back in the last couple of years. I think it was good this year because to see a team like Camden Catholic, you know, beat a lot of North Jersey teams and make it all the way up to Rutgers and be up 9 going into the 4th against, I think it was BYRDCAGE Catholic, who was a powerhouse year in and year out in the state, with a team of guys that just, you know, laid their heart out. Bryce Clark, Luke Kennevan as a senior, you know, Zyrus Richmond, like, you know, Seamus Big, like all them guys really, really knew what they were doing, a well-coached team. Coach Crawford does a great job with those guys, and it showed for them to make it all the way up there. And it's not that there was a lack of talent, but they played with some cohesion that really helped them to get where they needed to get to. And Camden is always going to be a powerhouse. They had exceptional talent this year. I just think, you know, those guys coming in late and not being able to play from the beginning of the year, I think that played a little bit toll, but they still had a winning season. I think they won a championship again this year too, as well. And you know, I think everybody. I think you do a great job. I think Coach at not Woodrow Wilson. I'm sorry.
Eastside.
I'm aging myself by saying that.
I still call it Wilson.
You know,
sorry.
Coach at Eastside does a great job, and I just think South Jersey can continue to flourish. But I think what kind of can hurt if South Jersey continues to help or starts and works off of this year to get these kids into college, kids won't need to leave and feel like they got to go to other schools.
Gotcha.
I feel like, you call it the Philadelphia Catholic League, but you could call it the South Jersey Catholic League too. Because, there's been years where, Hakeem Hart, Seth Lundy, Lingard Jr., even this year with like Makai Robinson, there's a ton of kids from South Jersey that play in the Catholic League, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I just think that if we provide
keep them home, it'll be that much more.
Platform,
you know what I'm saying?
It can continue to build us, so we can be more consistent against North Jersey teams, which always have been dominant in the state. But my loyalty is to the kids and to trying to get them an education. So I'm going to do my best to help South Jersey teams. I went to Cherry Hill West. I never left and went nowhere, and I still end up being a top 30, 40 player in the country. I know it's different today, but I think AAU plays a part. If you can play on a good AAU team on a sneaker circuit, you can play on any high school team.
True.
So I call it the one of two. But if you don't play on a good AAU team or a sneaker circuit team, I won't say not good, but if you don't play on a team that gets maximum exposure, then you might need to play on a more prolific high school team. So
true.
My humble opinion, I think the parents want results quicker than you can actually develop a player. So I think a lot of people don't want to, you made a point, you said like you didn't play varsity to like this, you know what I mean? But everybody wants their kid to come straight in and immediately go varsity.
Right away.
Don't nobody want to relax for a freshman year and observe and learn a system. And if they not playing right away, I'm taking my son, I'm going, I'm taking my ball and I'm leaving. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of that going on. And I think it's not giving the kids an opportunity to settle in, maximize their development, and maximize their understanding of systems, right? And I also feel like we're not teaching this generation the key component about being an athlete, which is loyalty and camaraderie, right? We're not loyal. These not loyal to nothing. Because if the coach don't say hi, right, I'm taking my kid and we going over there. You know what I mean? And I just think we're creating piss poor young adults, and they're going to be piss poor adults if we don't do something sooner. And I think a lot of coaches are really scared of parents because these parents are out of their mind.
And coaches, college coaches are not just recruiting the kid, they're recruiting the parents as well. And these parents don't understand that. To your point though, I do agree with you for the most part, but I think what messed the whole game up is when you bring money into the situation with these high school kids now. I think what it's become now is a lot of pay for play. When they introduce this NIL stuff and it's now high school kids can get paid. So instead of making it about development, it becomes a business too early, and it becomes pay for play too early. So then these people are saying now, like, I got 3 years to get a scholarship now because your senior year in high school doesn't matter anymore because of the transfer portal. So you have freshman year, sophomore year, and junior year to play to try to garner some attention from these colleges to get a scholarship. Because if you're not signed by October of your senior year, you're going to be in a struggle to try to get into school for free. So that means that eliminates your whole senior year. I remember back in my day, you can have a good senior year and get a scholarship to go anywhere. You know what I mean? There's plenty of testaments to that where guys had all Division II and Division III stuff and then had a bomb senior year and then they went. But now they want a 24-year-old now. Once October passed, they go looking at the transfer portal, they're going to get a 24-year-old, and high school kids get put to the back burner.
I need to ask you a question because I done talked to a couple college coaches, not only in basketball but different sports. When does all these years of eligibility stop?
It's crazy.
Because I know kids, boys that are on like their fourth school. When does it stop?
Because you can go to JUCO now, and that doesn't count against your 4 years, right?
Okay, look at this now. You can go to prep school when you're done. You can reclass in middle school.
Let's start there.
So that makes you a year older.
You
can do your 4 years of high school. You're able to go to prep school, so that's 6 years now. Then you can do 2 years of JUCO. That's 8 years. And then be a freshman. Then your clock can start at the Division I level.
That's crazy.
I mean, Master P is the new general manager at University of
Yeah,
New Orleans.
I did see
He
that.
just signed the kid that's 27 years old.
Yeah.
And he got the tattoos all over his
He
face.
ready to go.
Yeah,
He ready to go.
He TTG. Like
He gonna go.
this.
And guess what? He can play too, but
I know.
27.
Be 27.
So, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that's a tremendous advantage, but it's
still,
like
it's an advantage.
you're 27 and a grown man.
Right.
And he think differently.
Yes.
Right.
You move
And this is it's so sad because now the window of opportunity for a kid from a impoverished neighborhood who needs to use basketball to get an education, to get out of here, his window of opportunity is getting smaller and smaller. So it's just so sad because I'm telling you, I seen a kid. If this kid transfer one more time, I swear for Jesus. I'm like, what the?
They just gave the boy from Kansas a 7th year.
Yeah.
The big boy.
Yeah, I saw
They just
that.
granted him a
So
7th year.
when do we? Now, okay, I do have a question though.
Go ahead, let me hear.
Because
This is gonna be
I
a
do
good
have a
one.
question. No. I'm not seeing that in any other sport other than basketball.
Well, everybody's gonna be able to take advantage of it now. But
I know, but I'm just saying.
I think it's just 'cause it's
you don't
just not-
see it.
it's not
Football,
as-
you don't see it. You don't see a lot of that in any other sport other than basketball. Football, you may see like I'm at one school and I may transfer again. Then I'm done. You don't see I'm at one school, I'm transferring again, then I'm transferring again, and then I'm gonna do one more time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna run this thing back.
It's going to be football and
Yeah, it's
basketball
gonna start.
primarily now.
Yeah,
Football's about to start because the money in football can be even bigger now.
Right, it's crazy.
So
Yeah, I see the
college is
chains.
going to be like professional sports.
Yeah.
So a kid can start off at he can go to 4 colleges,
Right.
and nobody's going to look at him crazy because you're trying to provide for your family and yourself.
That's true.
One school going to give you $100,000, next school going to give you $1 million, next school give you $2 million, and the last school going to give you $4 million. You leave college, you got $7 million in the bank, and
crazy.
you might not have to work again if you invest it right.
That's crazy.
And your kids might not have to work again.
And it's just, and I think for me, the whole concept of sports and what sports represented at one point is gone.
It's lost.
It's the money.
lost.
Like,
I think about it. When I was a
Bro
kid,
said, it's the money.
I watched Temple and Aaron McKee, and I said, "Man, I knew Aaron McKee was coming back next year. I knew Eddie Jones was coming back. Temple, that's my favorite team.
Right.
Every year, you got to have a new favorite team because there's going to be 10 new
everybody's
guys
different.
at every
Yeah.
team.
Facts.
So it's
Facts. It's that
becoming
money.
professional sports until the NCAA or somebody
then-
can do something.
Try to do something.
But
Yeah.
then what behooves me, even the girls are doing it now.
Oh, the girls getting money now. You got to think.
They're getting done.
Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, they getting paid
They
now.
set the standard. I mean, soon South Carolina law. Boom, next day, 2 in the transfer portal. I'm like, what in
Trying to
the
get
head? Y'all didn't even wake up out of the hotel room. Y'all didn't even pack up.
Shout out to my favorite female college player, Keomi Miller, leaving Rutgers. Good luck on your next destination.
Yeah,
She's cold.
they because what's the girl's name that played with Hidalgo at Notre Dame?
Oh,
Wore the
yeah.
goggles.
She
She bounced.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I'm
She
saying? I
gone
thought
with
they
the
was a
bag.
nice little combination. But hey, since we talking about transferring and NILs and all that good stuff, and before I answer that question, I was thinking, I couldn't think, but I think the quarterback from UNLV left last season because he didn't get the bag that the coaches and them promised. So he bounced. You know what I'm saying? I forgot who picked him up. But yeah, so I think it's going to spread. You know what I'm saying? I think basketball is just, I don't know, just because I think it's less kid, you know what I'm saying? It's less kids and just popular.
Is the highest NIL athlete
yeah.
in football.
That's crazy.
Manning's son.
Yeah.
So-
So he's like, because I know they were saying like, no, I'm not that I'm a Giants fan or anything, but they should tank this year so they can get Arch when he comes out next year. But they're saying Arch is getting paid.
Yeah.
He might wait another year before he come out. Like, what's the rush? It
Exactly.
ain't no rush no more to come out. You know what I'm saying? Especially
Exactly.
if you're
This
getting that
is
dough.
insane.
It is. It's crazy.
It is.
And before get your thoughts on NILs and how it's affecting this transfer portal before we wrap this up. I don't want to say no names because I don't know. I might be privy to this information, but kid transferring right now, he's trying to figure out do I choose an agent and go to the NBA draft, or do I transfer and go to another school? So there's actually somewhere where you can go. Like I said, I might have been privy to this, but where you can see the schools that are after this kid, and it tells you how much money
They're gonna pay.
they're going to pay. You know what I'm saying?
There's all type of apps.
I'm
and
like,
different
that's
programs
crazy.
that
Like,
kids
it's, We talking about
Sign up
college,
for, yeah.
not a college scholarship. Because how
No,
much
this is
on
actually-
top of the
this is
scholarship?
actually-
How much? This is what we can give you.
Yep.
This is the slot you're in if you come to us. You know what I'm saying?
I
And
got
it's-
a better one for you. There's an app now, like say you're a top athlete in the country, and the schools, every school wants you. So they set up like a piggy bank now where they can say North Carolina or Temple University has 200,000 for Bird if you come here.
Wow.
Like, and the fans put the money in the pot for you.
Wow.
So you know if you choose that school, you're getting your NIL plus
Right.
that pot from this app.
Yo, this
you're
is
a part of
crazy,
the app,
yo.
like
It's getting out of
people are
hand.
finding all different type of ways to capitalize off these kids.
getting
But at
out
the
of
end of the
hand.
day, it is life-changing money. I don't know if it's going to be around for a long time.
True.
But
It's here
if they
now.
have the right guidance, they can capitalize off it.
here
But
now.
to Tracy's point, it totally demolishes what college sports or sports is about
True indeed.
from a purist standpoint. But
True indeed.
We'll
So
see.
so talk about that before we get out of here, bro. You know, this the college transfer portal. I know you mentioned it a little bit. How this is affecting, you know, high school recruitment, because I'm on the high school level. You know what I'm saying? Also, talk a little bit about now the different avenues have expanded, because before, where you might have a kid 4-star, 3-star, he might wind up at a JUCO, or he might wind up at a Division II school or Division III school first before he can maneuver his way
But
to where he wants to be, type of
To
situation.
the student athletes that are watching, D2 pays for full education.
Sure
Let's not
did.
be confused.
Oh, no, sure did.
So
Sure
many
did.
people
Sure
are
did.
telling kids,
Sure
don't take
did.
that D2 scholarship, but don't do that.
shit.
The way the window is closing,
Yeah, you better take it. And even
just-
if you
I
look at
just
like
posted
D3
something
type
about
stuff,
this
like they'll
yesterday.
make ways, they get creative.
school love you and they're gonna pay for you to
they'll
go to
get
school,
creative.
you better
They'll get
take it.
creative.
listen.
I'm gonna use.
Listen,
that's
my
crazy.
son went to a D3 and I gave him $800.
Yeah,
you
nah,
go.
they find
Guess
ways.
what?
And he
That's
went
true.
to it, and it was what was they considered not private, but it's some. But anyway, I $800.
Yeah.
And it
Nah,
probably was a
they'll
great
find
academic
ways.
school too.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
There's better academic D3s than D2s.
Right.
Yeah.
D3s are better academic schools. But
Yeah, but talk about that. Talk about your thoughts. Just want to get your thoughts, because you're in it. You're in the mix. This is what you do, getting kids into school and things like that. So
in terms of the question, in terms of just saying like
just as far as how's the
affects
college
high school kids?
how the transfer portal being so crazy in college is
Gotcha.
just like trickling down through college down to the high school level. You know what I'm
so
saying?
what it is the information and the negative stigma needs to be abolished. Like when people think of JUCO, they think of, oh my God, I got bad grades.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go to Camden County. I don't want to go to San Jacinto. I don't want to go to Odessa. I don't want to go to Berlin. I don't want to go to Texas. I don't want to go to Miami-Dade. Junior college is going to be the new wave towards saving money
Mm-hmm.
and being able to develop and get a chance to go D1 for
Right.
a lot of guys that are borderline.
Right.
I mean, the transfer portal is hurting high school kids. Yes, it is. But if you can be creative and think about, like Tracy said, Division II is full scholarships.
Mm-hmm.
NAIAs are full scholarships. You can go to an NAIA school and not pay any money.
True.
I have a player that worked with me on Wesley Robinson. He went to Burlington. I think he was at Burlington Township.
Okay.
And then he went to Life Center. And he went to Bloomfield. Played up at Bloomfield. Was a good player. Got an opportunity to jump in the portal and transfer. He transferred to Manhattan.
Okay.
And he went from 2 to 1.
Right.
So, he did 2 years at Bloomfield and then had a decent sophomore year and
Right.
bet on himself and got a scholarship to Manhattan. He just had a great senior year, hit a game-winning shot, was an ESPN Player of the Day.
Okay.
And he just signed with an agent who's going to get a chance to make money playing basketball. So
you go.
everybody's path is different.
True.
You just got to believe in yourself, most importantly, and just keep working, man. The work cannot be denied, and just continue to find a platform and showcase it.
That's the thing. Say that again. You gotta keep working. That's
And
the
I
problem. You
always
gotta put the
tell
work in.
Kids, perfect your craft, but it ain't where you play, it's how you play.
They'll find
because
you.
they will find you. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, he was at a D2 and he got bumped up because he played and he worked hard. Where you land, just work.
Yeah.
Work.
True.
You can't deny work.
Put the work in it, and what's for you will not be denied. What's for you is for you. I tell my kids that all the time. We're gonna put you on the right platforms, but if you put the work in and take advantage of these platforms, the only person to blame is ourselves.
True.
So,
True
I
indeed.
think
True
that's the secret sauce.
And it's important too I mean, first and foremost, you got to put the work in. If you're not putting the work in, all this stuff is not going to happen.
Nope.
But outside of that, you got to surround yourself with good people. You know what I'm saying? You got to make sure
And
these
people
people
that's
have
not
your
gonna lie to you.
right. It's not going to lie to you. Going to keep it real with you, not give you this unrealistic view of what you want to hear, so you can get. You know what I'm saying?
Like, prominent clients just from not coddling or telling them what they want to hear, and the ones that have trusted the process, you can say. We don't like to say that around here too much, but it has some meaning to it. The ones that have trusted the process have really benefited because everybody wants the end result, but nobody understands the work it takes to get there.
True.
It ain't always just fun. You got to put that work in.
Put
like
that
you
work
said.
in. Now with different makers. You got a big staff. Like, how many?
We have a few trusted, compadres, capos. I got to shout out my man from Camden, my man Big Al.
Okay.
Big Al is my man. He been with me since day one. You know what I mean? Big shout out to my man Royce. Big shout out to my man Anthony Fair. Big shout out to my man Jordan Ingram, Ernest Turner. These are all guys that have been with me from day one, that's helped develop the program and, have kind of poured in at different points in their life. So we wouldn't be here without each and every one of them guys.
Got you. Now, future-wise, what you see going on, just continue to make your organization the best it can be, or you got some other ventures that you wish to share? Or,
I mean, we're going to keep developing everybody, man. Like, we don't just want the kids that want to make NIL money.
Right.
If there's a kid that wants to make their JV team, we're going to help them do that.
There you go.
If there's a kid that, wants to, I remember Tyler Sutton said it to me, I think he was in 6th or 7th grade. He's like, I want to be the #1 point guard in the country. And fast forward, he's in 10th grade. He's the #1 point guard in the country. You know what I mean? So, like, I ain't saying I did that solely, but he put the work in, and we set up a platform for him to achieve it. And I think he's like anywhere between 1 and 3. We just came back from USA camp in San Antonio.
I seen the picture.
Him and Logan Schwastik from Malvern Prep was the 2 guys from the Philly area that went there and really represented. And I got to give a big shout out to my man Makai White from St. Benedict's from North Jersey. He went out there freshman. He broke I think he broke DeJuan Wagner's single season record for points. So that's a lot of points.
Yes.
We know what D was doing.
You know what I'm saying?
So Makai White put in work, and he went to USA camp, and them 3 guys just represented, man. And I think it was the top 60 players in the world from high school players, class of 26, 27, and 28. So it was a prestigious invite, and they took advantage of it. Just the tutelage alone, and myself being able to be down there and just kind of soak that in was good, and being at the Final Four was cool too.
Got any shout outs? Any other shout outs? Like, I know you gave a few. Anybody else?
I just want all the kids to keep working, and if anybody's trying to get in touch with the program, we're available. You can contact us on Instagram. Mostly, a lot of the contact goes through that. It's Difference Makers 23. Difference Makers 1 is the Instagram, and then Julian Dunkley on Facebook. And if you know anybody that trains with me, just reach out to them. They have my number, and we can put the work.
And I'll definitely put all your
I appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, bro, we first of all, I truly appreciate what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Because it's needed. You know what I'm saying? We, me and Tracy talk about that all the time. Good people, good trainers, you know what I'm saying, that really have these kids, well-being at heart, and not just looking at their parents' bank accounts and checks to see what they can, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's needed, you know what I'm saying? Because we need to combat the money grabbers and all that type stuff, because I'm tired of getting kids back off the off season, and I got to re-coach everything because they dealt with this so-called trainer who ain't teach them nothing, you know what I'm saying? And now I got to, you know what I mean? So I need guys like y'all to help me out, make my job easy.
There are some great trainers out there.
Yes, it is. True.
I try to support everybody. I just love when kids are in the gym, period.
True.
But, there are some good trainers out there. But I definitely want to, just want all the kids to just keep working.
True.
And I appreciate you having me on your platform to get this word out there to everybody.
We definitely appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Before we get out of here, couple things. I had something. Well, I'll let you talk about your event. I was going to say something about the bowling event. Essie's, told Mike J I would do this for him. You know what I'm saying? Essie's on Sundays. Make sure you check them out for the brunch. I think they have bottomless mimosas and things like that. Check them out. On Thursdays, they're going to have some all-you-can-eat type of oyster special as well.
Char grilled, and they are good.
Yeah, so you might want to check that out as well. You know what I'm saying? Get the Essie's and check that out. Because, you know, I love you. You know what I'm saying? There is no Birdcage show without Cousin Tracy. You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't do this by myself, and I'm just so happy that we're on this journey together. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Bird seeds.
We trying to get it. Can you find somebody to get us an NIL deal?
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna package you one of the
Yeah,
two.
please do.
Because our platform is kind of good. I just think somebody need to throw us some coins.
You know what I'm saying?
Give us
You know what I mean?
little
Little
sponsorship or
something. You know what I'm saying?
Target was coming, but you shut that down.
Yeah, I know. We shut that down.
All money ain't good money.
There you go.
All money ain't good money.
There you go. So that's what's up. What you got, cuz?
So it's that time of year again. Daylight is up and moving and in motion. May 4th, we have a bowling party. The proceeds from the bowling tickets are $25. It's at Splinters. It's called now.
It's the old
Laurel
Lanes.
Lanes. Old Laurel Lanes. Tickets are $25. All proceeds go towards our scholarships. If you know anything about Daylight Foundation, we give out 1 to 2 scholarships a year to young men from Camden High's football team that are going to a 4-year institution for higher education. And we have our Wellness Fun Day on May 31st. As we get closer, you'll see more posting about it. Again, the Wellness Fun Day is an opportunity for you guys to come and have fun, family, food, DJ. But I'll have a lot of resources for mental health services and any type of family services you may need. We're in collaboration with a lot of organizations within our community. So we meeting you guys where you are. For a lot of the parents out there that say you don't know where to get services, we're bringing the services to you so you can get the information. May is rolling around, so of course we'll have our group therapeutic sessions in the park. I recommend and suggest all the time, all athletes, whether you think you need it or not, should have some type of therapy, because being an athlete is very stressful. Being a scholar athlete is even more stressful, and being a member of your family while being an athlete can even be more stressed. So we do offer therapeutic sessions in the park. We do coping strategies and things of that nature. Everything is free for our kids, our young people. We just want to help you guys help yourselves. So with that being said, Daylight is up and moving. It's spring and summer, and we're here to help you clear out the cobwebs and start thinking fresh.
There you have it. That's why she's the closer. You know what I'm saying? She always drops that gem at the end. You know what I'm saying? Well, for our guy, Julian Dunkley, we appreciate you once again. Episode 132 is in the books. For the lovely Cousin Tracy, I am Sechuayo, a.k.a. Coach Bird. I'm the host of the BYRDCAGE Show, and we'll talk to you soon. Yes, indeed.
Appreciate it.
It was a stone groove, my man.